Hey y'all. Welcome to SLOP. Uh yeah, I'm your friendly neighborhood organizer, Austin, and I'm here tonight with Jason,
Hello, comrades.
and Robert should be joining us uh in a little bit, but we got a guest tonight, Chris. Why don't you
Hello.
say hey? Yeah.
Hi. Hello. I'm Chris Leoy. I'm the secretary for the North Alabama chapter of the DSA.
And a fine specimen of a secretary you are. And yeah.
Well, shucks.
Welcome
And
to
Chris
SLOP.
is going, yeah, welcome to Slop, the most unprofessional podcast in the land. And pretty much we got one competitor here for Socialist podcasts in Alabama, HSV Progressive. Shout out to Joy. Check them out if you get a chance. And yeah, tonight we're going to be talking about the DSA convention, the biannual DSA convention that just took place this past weekend. It looked pretty peak, as the kids say, and
The
we
kids
might
say
talk.
peak. Is that the word
It
now? Peak.
it it is one of the words. One of the words. I'm gonna have to make sure I keep putting these in my notes app on my phone so I can keep up with them. Um, and we might talk about some national news and international news, but we're going to definitely try to highlight some training that's going on and maybe we talk about a couple fun things. But we're just going to hit it off with Chris because he's a busy man. And we're just going to talk about the DSA convention. And because I'm so professional, I have no questions to start with because I didn't write shit down. But yeah,
Well,
uh,
that's okay. So, I mean, I can just describe the whole affair. So,
let's
every
go.
2 years, the Democratic Socialists of America holds its national conference, which is the highest decision-making body of the organization. All the membership elects delegates from each chapter, which are apportioned according to their membership numbers. So the North Alabama chapter, being a small but proud chapter, was able to send 2 delegates and 1 alternate. Myself, our membership coordinator, Henry, and our alternate was our friend Jordan Woods. So the convention is basically like like a parliament. So the delegates are sent to legislate, basically to vote on resolutions that determine the priorities and of the organization for the next 2 years and changes to its bylaws and constitution, and also to elect the National Political Committee, which is like the government of the DSA, which executes the will of the National Convention.
All right. Welcome, Robert. Robert just showed in. Okay. So what year is this? 2025, 2023. So you said they elect the officials and they vote on resolutions. How many resolutions did uh did they try to make some decisions on this
Good
weekend?
golly. Well, so resolutions are proposed on the discussion forums, and they have to reach a certain threshold of co-sponsoring signatures before they're admitted to discussion on the floor. This year, there were apparently over 100, more than the last 2 conventions combined, as I understand it. And in order to triage all of those, a delegate survey was sent out. So the delegates kind of sort of pre-voted on things that they agreed with or not. And the agenda things were agendized based on that survey. Only about half of the total resolution. So some of them were eliminated outright for procedural reasons or for lack of support. And then the remainder on the main business agenda were agendized according to the survey. And we got to about half of them. And the rest of them were on the overflow agenda. So things that are not considered by the convention body by the end of the last deliberation block are referred to the NPC for consideration.
Okay, so there's like over 100 and then about half of those made it to the convention.
Sorry, there's multiple things. So there's a consent agenda, which is a package of things that are all voted on together. So those are things that that got supermajority support in the delegate survey and are considered, would be considered highly likely to pass if they were debated on. So those were voted on all together. Then there's the business agenda, which is everything that we actually debated on throughout the whole convention. And that contains 62 resolutions, of which we got to 31 of them.
Well, what? And you said what happens to the other 30 that y'all didn't get to?
They are everything that was not debated and voted on by the convention body is referred to the National Political Committee for passage or non-passage, the incoming committee, which we voted on.
Okay. Ooh, did you have any? Well, so I saw some. I didn't get to watch the live stream. I did see famous or infamous streamer Hassan Piker was there. I saw him interview Rashida Tlaib. She spoke, didn't she?
She did. She was the keynote speaker on the first day of convention, and it was fantastic. She gave a fantastic speech. Obviously, this year, Palestine was if not the central issue theme that occupied the convention. A lot of resolutions geared toward it, and obviously Representative Tlaib gave a speech about it, and we were all, despite disagreements on particular resolutions and specific items, all very much unified in our commitment as an organization to continue to attempt to stop the genocide in Gaza.
Awesome. Yeah, if I remember a couple years ago at the last convention, it wasn't so cut and dried for folks back then.
Well, yeah. So last convention was, of course, before October 7th. So, in the last 2 years, things have changed dramatically, and that's given I think that's provided a lot of clarity to people. And the main result of that, we can talk about specific resolutions if you want. There were a couple that kind of were occupying people's attention. The main one, as far as Palestine goes, was the Resolution 22 for a fighting anti-Zionist DSA, which basically kind of formalized and codified the DSA finally as an anti-Zionist organization.
Outstanding. All right. Officially anti-Zionist. Okay. And so, Free Palestine, what's happening there is monstrous, beyond words.
How did that
one word, genocide.
Yeah.
No, go ahead.
Sorry to cut you off. How did that proposal do? Did it pass?
It did pass. The Democratic Socialists of America is now an officially anti-Zionist organization.
Oh wow.
It passed. It was a very contentious one. But not just because you may have seen it's already kind of floating around on social media. The vote was I think 56 to 44 in favor, and it's been floating around on social media. Oh my God, 44% of the DSA is still Zionists. No, they're not. There were disagreements about some of the specific things in that proposal, which we can talk about if you want. I don't want to get too into,
the weeds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Was there anything specifically that people were stuck on with the proposal?
So the proposal, so backing up, DSA has in its bylaws provisions that members may be expelled for substantial disagreement with the DSA principles. So, if I said, we should actually privatize everything, capitalism rules, or actually the Nazis were based, those would be, for example, those would be substantial disagreements with DSA. This resolution attempted to define more rigorously what substantial disagreement means in the case of the Israel-Palestine issue. And it means, as per the text of the resolution, material support for Israel, like, for example, giving money to the Israeli government. And as an enforcement mechanism, it specifies that people may be expelled for doing that. So some of the objection that people had, people kind of broadly were concerned that this may jeopardize. They sort of overinterpreted, in my opinion, the red lines, and they were worried that this might jeopardize a kind of united front approach to stopping the genocide. And also they were concerned that the expulsion clauses would be overzealously applied to result in, mass expulsions of people who were not perfectly in line with this. Neither of those are the case, in my opinion, and in the opinion of the authors of the resolution. And we certainly are not prepared to expel, 44% of our membership for not voting for this resolution.
Yeah. For sure. We still got building to do and educating to do. So the Palestine and the anti-Zionist official organization stuff. What else? And Jason, unless you had any other questions about that resolution.
No, I didn't.
Okay. Did you have a question before I made something up on the fly?
Go ahead, man.
So what else? What were some other high points or that came across?
Well, I mean, I can just read off a couple of resolutions that passed that were kind of big moments. There's the resolution 33, unite labor and the left to run a socialist for president and build the party.
Woo!
Resolution 42, labor for an arms embargo, again with the theme of Palestine. And the final one that we got to before deliberation adjourned, resolution 7, principles for party building, which is a step towards becoming an independent socialist party.
Wow, some big moves.
Wow.
Yeah. I'm so glad he came on tonight because I couldn't keep up. Tell me, like, how. So we talked about a couple of the resolutions, but like, what was the process for getting there and all that? Like, you got up there it started on Friday and ended on Sunday.
Gosh, I've lost all sense of time. Thursday. Friday. We started. So we got there. It took us it was a very long trek to get to Chicago, because first we drove to Memphis for 4 hours to catch our train, which was like 8 hours or so on an Amtrak into Chicago for registration on Thursday, and then deliberation began on Friday. And we had 3 days, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, on which we deliberated. But there was also lots of other stuff happening. There was all kinds of programming. People put on sessions, helping chapters with their comms, which is one session that I went to because,
all right.
We've been trying to beef up our comms. All the different caucuses had meetings at some point before the NPC election so that the candidates could talk about their politics. And on Saturday, there was also a huge session with a bunch of international speakers from political parties and organizations from many countries all over the world who came to talk to us.
That's
several people from PASOL in Brazil, Lula's party, a representative from the Workers' Party of Belgium, a senator from the Mexican Senate, and so many other, just a huge international contingent.
Yeah, I heard there was about like 1,300 delegates and about 300 folks from other countries, and then and then folks working. So like over 2,000 people were taking, there and taking part and stuff, which is massive to me.
Yeah, it was huge.
Uh, you took a train. Did you get to any murders happen on the train going up there?
Almost. On our way up, there was a lady who was decided to sing gospel music at 3 in the morning.
Praise, praise. 3 in the morning, the best time to praise on a train to
I guess it
Chicago.
is.
That is so. That should be we should write a song about that. A song about a singer on a train to Chicago to the DSA convention. Oh man. So what made you like you? Everybody took a train together.
Yep, our whole delegation was together, whole trip.
That's cool. That's really cool. That's some good bonding. I for one, Jason, maybe me and you can go next in 2 years. Maybe I'll save up money to get there in 2 years.
Oh, yeah, we can be the ones interviewing Rashida Tlaib.
Oh yeah, maybe we can be. Maybe she'll be our first candidate for president.
Maybe so.
Oh God, that's not. We got some decision making to do with all that. That's so. So we got a new NPC, right? The national. Wait, did I say that
Yes, we
right?
do. So we have a new NPC, and also it was expanded. One of the items was to raise the number of people on the NPC from 16 to 25. So we have a new and larger NPC, and I can actually, if you'll give me a second, I can in the chat. Let me find the Parliament chart. Yeah.
We lost Robert, and I don't know if he's going to be. I hope he's coming back.
Yeah, I hope so too. It's always good to hear from
Yeah.
him.
Yeah. We did get to hear an update on his candidacy on Sunday on Cornbread and Roses. If y'all are interested in that, and also if you look down in the description, the poorly worded description that I do, that his links are in there to donate. And wouldn't you know it, Jay, I forgot to sign up on Sunday. I wrote it down on my hand. I wrote it down. I texted my partner to remind me. And do you think I've still done it yet? Robert, donate. I'm writing it down on my hand again. That's how bad a brain I'm working with, y'all.
I'm waiting for payday.
Yeah. Maybe I should wait for payday because I'll feel more generous. Yeah, probably. But I was thinking like do $5 twice a month, and then I'll like feel like split it up a little bit, and I'll feel better about it. I don't know. But yeah, links in the description there for Robert's GoFundMe, not GoFundMe, ActBlue, and also his platform and how to volunteer for him. So everybody out here in Alabama land and even beyond Alabama, because guess what? You can be in New York City. We should get some of these bigger chapters volunteering to phone bank for them. That'd be sweet if we could coordinate nationwide to get some volunteers to them.
Once they're finished electing Zoran Mamdani.
Yeah. Well, I think
he was a huge topic of conversation over the weekend, as you can imagine.
I bet.
Did he show up?
He did not. He's probably busy on the campaign trail.
Yeah, fair. He's definitely busy roasting Cuomo hard as hell. Did see the video release #release the Cuomo list. Yeah, and I think that was after Cuomo said something along the lines of, don't we don't need to be fighting." Uh, Mom Donnie thought very differently. But the NPC, so it was 16, and they added one YDSA member a couple years ago, and now it's at 25. Did they add any more YDSA folks?
I probably should know that, but I don't remember.
It's a lot. Hey, you packed it in. It's well, and this ain't no test, so don't feel
Oh,
bad.
good.
What was the general vibe at the convention? Like, were people excited? Did people feel?
Yeah, I thought it was. I think it was great. I mean, everyone was very comradely despite all the lively debate and disagreement. I mean, I loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I learned a lot, met a lot of really interesting people, and it was really, because people are often siloed away in their local chapters, which is where all of our work happens, and we can sometimes lose sight of the fact that we are part of a pretty huge now national organization, and this is my first real experience of that, and it was wonderful.
It sounds almost life changing. Like, yeah, an excellent point. You do forget that you're not alone. Like, that's one of the things about capitalism itself, right? Is it atomizes you to get you to the point where you forget that there's other people and other struggles, and that us being together is how we win. Yeah.
Now, Chris, are you affiliated with a particular caucus? I can't remember.
I am not. Constitutionally, I'm just not much of a joiner. It took me long enough to join the DSA, despite having supported it for many years. And there are a lot of caucuses I agree with, but I don't think. I think I value my independence for the moment.
Yeah, I feel the same way.
Yeah.
But it is very interesting. I mean, like I said, it really is like a parliament, and internal political factions are pretty crucial for the functioning of that kind of environment. And a lot of them are very sophisticated, and they're like incubators for particular political ideas that get debated, but to the wider convention and then to the wider organization. And I also, I couldn't put it in the chat, but I have the composition of the steering committee, or the NPC, and it's looking pretty good. And I went into the convention actually being much less familiar with internal DSA politics than I thought, but I learned a lot. And for anyone who doesn't know, the DSA caucuses range on a spectrum of left to right, in quotes, which is of course relative. The quote unquote right wing of the DSA is usually thought to be composed of the Socialist Majority Caucus and a caucus called Groundwork. Very, very high membership in New York, for example. They typically like by left and right. I mean, that can be, you can use a lot of things as a surrogate for that left and right or value judgments. In this case, a good surrogate is maybe the extent to which they would like to associate with or work within the Democratic Party. Right, quote unquote, right wing would like to do that and supports doing that. The left wing is more in favor of political independence, among other differences. So the incoming political committee has just about a third of it is SMC and Groundwork, and the remaining members are from all the center to left Marxist committees. There's the Marxist Unity Group, which all three of whose candidates got on the committee. Red Star, Springs of Revolution, which is not really a caucus. It sort of sprung up around a particular set of issues, but they put forward a slate of candidates they were supporting. Libertarian Socialist Caucus, which are sort of like, anarchist affiliated types have one member on, and Reform and Revolution, who are, from my understanding, sort of Trotsky-ish group that formed from a group of socialist alternative members who joined DSA a while ago. So all of which is to say is that the National Political Committee is looking pretty left.
I'm thinking about putting together a show and some week about all the different caucuses that are internal to the DSA and going through them and explaining what they are and maybe trying to get some people from them to speak on them.
Yeah, you'll definitely need some people who are more knowledgeable than me.
That sounds interesting. I have a soft spot for the LSC, so I'm glad to see they got somebody on the just to tip my hand a little bit. I'm excited they got somebody on the NPC.
Which one was that?
The Libertarian Socialist Caucus.
Okay. Gotcha. I hear you, Jay.
I'm not a joiner,
Robert,
but go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, I was gonna say Robert's back with us. Robert, we're talking about the makeup of the new voting body at the National Political Committee. It's now at 25 members, and we were just talking about the caucuses. If you hop on in, if you got any questions, I'm just making it up as I go today. But so we got all those caucuses. I'd love to do just what you said, Jay, and try to get a member from the caucus or maybe from the National Political Committee who got elected. Maybe we could try to figure out connecting with them. And
well, our other delegate, Henry, is a member of a caucus, and he would be a good person to talk to as far as any of that goes.
I think he's Mug, isn't he?
He is, yes.
And that's Marxist group.
Yeah.
I ranked them very highly myself. I ranked all the Marxist caucuses very highly.
Okay. Well, I mean, it's kind of what socialism is, I guess. It's definitely Marx's voice and writings are definitely foundational and important, and something that maybe one day I'll read. But until then, I'll take y'all's word for it, because I saw that volume. Yeah, I saw that volume 1 you brought to the tabling event a few weeks ago, and yeah, that would be officially, I think, the biggest book I've ever read. I think it definitely looked bigger than Dune. So,
well, that was actually volumes 1 and 2, so don't feel too intimidated.
Oh, okay.
You don't have to start with Das Kapital. Start with the manifesto. Like, I think that's the great place to start, and you can kill it in a couple of hours.
Oh,
it's a very short, easy read, and a lot of it's still relevant today.
So bathroom reading, okay.
And then you can. I have never read Das Kapital, and at this point, I doubt that I ever will.
Right. So what else we'd be remiss if we did not talk about the food.
I don't think. Well, if you mean at the convention, I think that you'd be better off not talking about it. But if you meant Chicago at large, sure, yeah, the food in Chicago is great.
Any particular meal that stood out to you on that trip?
Well, I unfortunately we didn't have nearly as much opportunity to like venture out into Chicago as I would have liked. We were very like trapped in the vicinity of the convention center, but there were definitely a couple highlights. We went to this Nepali place, which is like, sort of Indian adjacent cuisine.
I love Nepalese food.
Yeah, so good, so good. There was a hot pot place. There was an authentic Mexican taco place within walking distance of the convention center. Chef kiss.
Well, I used to live in San Francisco, and in my apartment there was a Nepalese place like a couple of blocks away, and I used to eat there all the time.
What? I'm questioning exactly why didn't you eat the deep dish pizza?
Oh, I did actually. We did go to a deep dish pizza after the last session. It was significantly better than the first time that I tried it.
And it wasn't a front to your Italian ancestry, huh?
Uh, less so.
Less so. Still an affront, but just
We have an
less
armed
so.
truce, me and the deep dish crowd.
Fair enough.
I don't think I've ever had a deep dish pizza. What's it all about? What is the deep dish pizza?
Well, okay, so the one that we had was basically it's very very thin but like crunchy crust with like cheese and all the normal pizza stuff like cheese and sauce and pepperonis and stuff. It honestly is not that thick. The first time I had it, I just I guess I chose a terrible place because it's this like huge casserole thing, like an above ground pool filled with cheese, and not good.
Yeah, that doesn't sound very appealing.
Hey, Robert, have you ever gone to any of the Democratic conventions that have taken place? Because I know you've been involved with the Democratic Party, like almost, I swear, for almost a decade now.
So I've been involved at the state level 6 years, going on 7 next year, and I'm trying to remember 6 years going on next year, 5 years at the county level. I've also been a DSA member for 5 years, but no, in most cases I just could not afford the cost because it starts out at like $1,000.
Yeah. Dang. I know. I know in Alabama though, there's like a big kerfuffle over delegates going to the last presidential convention, if I recall correctly.
That is correct. Our current chair seems to have stacked the deck. / some of the stuff was just off, to be honest. And they also were mad that because the way it works with delegation is if you're a Joe Biden delegate, Joe Biden gets to pick those delegates off of a list. And when Joe Biden picked those delegates, the local state chair was mad because he didn't pick the people he wanted to pick. But yeah, if I'm in charge of this entire convention and your state has had a decades-long history of just being messy and destroying whatever quorum or any type of official action we're trying to do, no, I wouldn't trust you to pick your own people, especially if I have the legal capability to.
So that's interesting though. So I mean, obviously it works a little different, but like Biden and his folks being able to pick the delegates, and not that it's the same as the DSA convention this weekend, but instead of the state voting for delegates to go or whatever. So that's interesting.
So what happens is the delegates are based off of the primary. So if you vote for Joe Biden in the primary by like 70%, 70% of the delegates who come from that state have to be Joe Biden delegates, which Joe Biden then could go with those who won, but also could just pick those delegates.
Got you. And I don't know if you heard the good news, Robert, but why don't you tell us again, Chris? You said that DSA is going to work towards being a party and also running a presidential candidate.
Yes. So, Resolution 7, Principles for Party Building, included the following conclusion. Therefore, be it resolved, DSA commits to the goal of becoming an independent mass socialist party with the following principles, and it enumerates several principles. An important important couple of them. Because of an undemocratic and uneven electoral system designed to maintain capitalist rule, DSA fights on unfavorable terrain and is pulled between the necessity of independent political action and using the ballot line of the Democratic Party. DSA's approach is the party surrogate, acting as a party but without a dedicated ballot line. While DSA must move away from use of the Democratic Party ballot line and primaries, a ballot line is not the primary goal or indication of political independence. What matters most is bringing our independent organization and program to races, whether on a Democratic, independent, or third-party ballot line.
Okay, that allows for a whole lot of maneuverability in that. I like that. And I'm assuming you voted for that.
I did, yes.
All right, good job. Good job.
Besides
Let's
the
see.
anti-Zionist resolution, what was the resolution you were most excited to vote for?
It was one that we didn't get to, which is the resolution to censure Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. That was one of the last things that was agendized, and we didn't get to it because of a variety of issues, technical difficulties, and delays in debate. That was the only one that I was prepared to speak on, and we didn't get to it, unfortunately. I was imagining it was going to be a contentious topic, understandably so. But I think I don't know. I think considering that we committed to anti-Zionist principles at this convention, I think it probably stood a better than even chance of getting passed.
So that would be to censure her for voting for the Iron Dome funding.
Well, yeah, there were several things listed as censurable infractions that featured very prominently among them.
But that puts it back to her chapter. Her chapter can make a decision on that now, still, if they want to.
Yeah. See, I think that it would. So the reason that we considered that, so the anti-Zionist resolution that has the punitive clauses that I mentioned, those are not retroactive, right? So we have established the standards going forward for members and elected officials. What it seems to me that the situation we're in is that if her behavior continues in the way that it has been as outlined in the censure resolution, that it may seems like it may put her membership in jeopardy. And that's why the censure resolution was considered separately to specifically, make it known that we find these things unacceptable and to bring her to the table and to express our concerns and see if we can find some path forward.
Okay. All right. So other than the censure, however we say that, right? What were there any other things that didn't get voted on that you wish that happened?
Oh, well, sure. I mean, lots of them. There was actually the next thing that was on the agenda before we adjourned was the YDSA resolution. And this was a thing that apparently YDSA has kind of been pushed aside at conventions. It's apparently a recurring thing. And I really do wish we would have gotten to that because YDSA is extremely important. And we need to make sure that they are well funded and well incorporated in decision making and included in all of our political work.
Yeah. Speaking of YDSA, before I forget, there's a YDSA chapter down in Jacksonville, Robert, that might be beneficial to talk to regarding your candidacy. They might be able to lend some support from down there. But yeah, we've got to help younger folks. I'm almost 50. So
you don't look a day over 40.
Thank you. I'll dust my shoulders off on that. But like the young folks, that's I'm fighting for my kids out here. doing the little bit that I do and empowering young folks, mentoring them, guiding them, training them, empowering them. That's where it's at, like in my opinion, because somebody who's 18 right now, uh, 4 6 years, they're out of college, they're in the quote unquote real world, and in that time frame, there's so much that they can learn and learn to do and get involved with and grow. So I think it's a very important thing to grow. Whoa, no. Well, uh, at least those work. I hope you're okay, Chris. But yeah, it's important that we empower the younger folks and get them moving, scooting and booting out there.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Well, I have a lot of hope for the kids, like, because I think they're on average just a little bit. I mean, I know there's plenty of chuds among them, but on average, I think they're pretty left wing, and they're a lot more left leaning than I was at their age. So,
Oh, absolutely. I thought I was a capitalist when I was 18. What a fucking joke. Oh my God. Yeah. Um, oh, what the hell? But yeah, there's something like 70% of young folks would vote for a socialist president. So, the worm is turned, right? It appears that Chris's emergency is over.
Yeah,
No
sorry
fires.
about that.
No, that's all right. Yeah, every time I cook with the cast iron, I always set off the fire alarm. So you're in good company. Robert, you got any questions for Chris about the convention and everything that went down?
Clarification, I would ask. So would there be a penalty for me running on the Democratic ticket currently? Because in my particular situation, like, I've already put in the paperwork and I'm already doing like the door knocking and such. But also the way that conservatives have gerrymandered my district, if I had been independent during this run, what would happen was Democrat would have ran. There's a good chance a Libertarian would have ran and a Republican would have ran. Don't get me wrong. The back end work I was seeing, I'd get 30% of the vote, which would be amazing for an independent. But then I would lose to the current incumbent at 52%.
That's not the way I understood it. Go ahead, Chris. Clarify that.
Yeah,
for
so
us.
I don't think that would be a problem. I think that the resolution, the party building resolution, does not exclude the possibility of running on the Democratic ticket. There were some additional resolutions on criteria for endorsements, and I'll have to look through those. I don't think that any of these, based on my reading of them, affect any of the relationship between our chapter and your candidacy.
And
Right,
that
so
would be for national endorsement standards, right?
Yes, I mean, so yeah, there was a motion for specifically regarding federal endorsements, and a separate one that I don't think we got to, that was for other endorsements. I am going to have to read through these yet again, but I do not think that any of those are going to be an obstacle.
okay, at a later date, I would love to know what the process steps are to get a national endorsement, but I gotta get my locals first, and potentially Birmingham's if they would have me. But that's a story for a different day.
Which, oh my goodness, is this Saturday is our general meeting?
That is correct.
Yes.
Oh my God. Okay. Well, I'm pretty sure you're going to have an endorsement on Saturday, Robert. Fingers crossed. Have you been able to talk to Birmingham DSA yet, or I dropped the ball on trying to connect you to folks out there?
No, I don't know who I'm supposed to get in touch with specifically for getting on their radar.
I got you. All right, I'm writing that down too. See, this is how we do it, folks. One action item at a time. Uh, I'll get that squared away for you, man. I'll make sure either on Discord or Signal, one of them. But yeah, let's see here. And Chris, you said you had a bit of a time limit on things, and I don't want to keep you too much longer unless you want to stay and talk a little bit more about what's going on with the Mom Donnie campaign or what have you. But yeah, is there some anything more, like any other little tidbits and interesting stuff? I did see uh one of our on the Hassan stream. I did see one of our Mobile DSA members talk to him for a minute. Did you
Oh, really?
did you yeah. Jeff, who I think's he's part of the organizing committee down there.
Yeah. I
I
think
think he
I
goes
met him
by
briefly.
he goes by Alabama fella
Hmm.
on TikTok and YouTube if you get a chance to check him out. And he helped run the Democratic Senate forum that took place that hopefully we're talking about this Sunday. Uh, hopefully he might be part of it. I hope so. But yeah, uh, you saw Mobile down there. Who else did you see? Did you see any other chapters?
Yeah. So I mean, we
Alabama
briefly
chapters, I
we got
mean.
we got a big a picture with all the Southern delegates from like multiple states, and we eventually, I guess we were not in the right signal chats, but we did eventually get connected with the Birmingham people, and we went out for lunch on the last day, and you know, exchanged thoughts about how the weekend went.
Okay, well, we need to do better next time about getting that organized prior to, so everybody's connected prior to that. Um,
Yeah.
let's
Well, now
see.
we're connected in that I think they're just there's talk about just making it a statewide chat for us all to keep in touch.
Yeah.
I would
Tell me,
definitely.
did y'all get to meet? Go ahead, go ahead, Robert.
I was just gonna say, with us potentially having 2 new chapters along with the 2 we already have, I think we should have a statewide chat and a statewide convention. That way, we can get more cohesive about future actions.
Yeah, absolutely. We had a statewide event at the beginning of this year, and I think they're planning on doing it again. And now we'll have a lot more participation with all these new chapters.
Yeah, I think we're getting 3 new chapters. Florence, Montgomery, and Mobile. I think are all standing up. And yeah, let's see. There's something else I was going to say, but I forgot. What are you going to do? Uh, so, oh, that's what I was trying to ask. Did you get to meet Caitlin, our organizer, our
Yes,
field
I did.
organizer?
We very briefly, but we did meet, and she caught up with us a little bit.
Okay, that's awesome. Yeah, for all the folks in the deep south joining up, and you get to, if you can get yourself into a district call, she's great. She's always got a good answer. If she don't have the answer, she knows where to point you. And yeah, um, shout out to Caitlin. We appreciate you, comrade. Um, so yeah, Did I miss anything? Do we got any other questions for our illustrious guest?
I think that's all I could think of. That was very informative.
Yeah. I want to, if anybody wants to check out like a list of what's passed and what didn't pass, is it on the forums or are they posting it on the main website, or how do we check out that information?
So I am, I'm not sure. I think it probably is on the forums. And
Yeah.
if so, I
I
will
am
go
not
digging
on
around
the
and find it.
forums. Right on. Right on. Well, do you want to stick around with some of these articles, or are you going to prepare yourself for tomorrow's workday?
I think I'm going to have to prepare myself for tomorrow's workday. Alas, I am still a worker.
Aren't we all, comrade? Aren't we all? In our own ways. Yeah. Well, hey, Chris, thank you very much for being here. Thank you very much for volunteering your time and everything that you did to represent our chapter. All the preparation you did, all the educating of the chapter prior to, uh, your steadfast and studiousness on it. Um, and also shout out to our Henry and Jordan, our other delegate and our alternate that went. Thank you so very much for uh, dedicating yourselves to making things better for working class folks here in North Alabama, in the state, and across the country and the world. Because, that's what it's all about.
Yeah, I thank you for trusting me to do that and for having me on.
Oh yeah, come back
All right.
anytime. It was great to have you. Thanks, comrade.
Thank you. Bye.
Ciao. All right.
So yeah, we've got less than 10 minutes left. What do we want to do with it?
Do you got any updates, Robert? I know we just talked to you on Sunday, but hey, you're here. Why not?
Yeah, I do have one update. I've gotten one endorsement I can't announce yet, but I have a second endorsement from For the Future Victory. Yeah, I actually have two. Since Sunday, I've gotten a private endorsement that I can't talk about just yet, but a secondary endorsement that's from an organization called For the Future Victory Fund PAC. So
Okay. Are they from Alabama, or like is it a national thing, or who are they?
It's a North Alabama thing.
Oh, okay. All right. That's awesome. Look how fast you work. Like, dog, like Sunday they wasn't there, and now a couple days later, here we are.
I also
Are
have
you?
another interview coming up as well. That's going to be in a magazine.
What magazine we looking at?
Give me 1 second. It's a digital magazine called Your Life, the Mixtape Magazine. I should be in the next edition.
That sounds great.
That's awesome.
Be sure and spread the word on social media.
Yeah.
Thank y'all for that.
Absolutely. Yeah, we need to well, we're still growing our comms here. You can see our Instagram underneath my head over here. And yeah, so y'all keep an eye on our Instagram and our Facebook. And we'll keep y'all updated on what's going around. Let's see here. Is it tomorrow? Yeah. Tomorrow, Indivisible has an event going on protesting against Dale Strong, his vote for pedophiles, and all that good stuff. uh, that he does for the state and the country. And that's put on by Indivisible out of uh, up here in North Alabama, around Huntsville. But we also, if I can find it, trying to find, we've got trainings coming up that were put out. Well, of course, I can't find them. But September 1st, we had a meeting tonight for Labor Day. And the event is getting round up. It looks like it's going to be at Butler Green. Looks like we're going to have folks do some teaching, a couple different sessions on things like student unions, tenant unions, worker unions, co-ops, DSA 101, and the like. So yeah, let's see here. Oh my goodness. Okay, here we go. So let's see here. If I can share this. If it'll render. We've got a building partnerships and coalitions put on by Indivisible, featuring Christina Jimenez. And that's going to be Monday, August 18th, 7 to 8:30 Eastern. Let's see here. We've got another event by righttobe.org. It's bystander intervention to support the disability community in public spaces. And that's August 19th from 7 to 8:15 Eastern. That's 6 to 7:15 Central. We've got two more little events coming up, trainings. We're working on martial training, developing our own martial training up here. But there's effective norm setting for respectful workplaces. That's August 20th at 12 Central. That's at Right to Be is putting that on. And we've got one more. We'll make it there. Resistance School put on by the Resist Trump folks. Virtual training on, and it looks to be multiple Sundays, the 17th, 24th, 31st, from 5 to 6:30. And yeah, so can't get trained enough, folks. There's trainings out there. If you know where to look, if you don't, ask us. We'll be happy to find some for you. There's also one other, the National LGBTQ Task Force Building Q Power Organizing Boot Camp. Not QAnon, folks, just Q Power. And that is going to be on August 20th. There's a deadline for applications on August 20th before midnight. Notify all applicants by Friday, August 29th about decisions. So yeah, that's the main thing. I did want to share one video that I got spun up. It took me all day to do that. Yeah. Let's see here. Let's see if we can make it work. But okay. And okay.
posted a letter from the school that says because her daughter.
Well, of course, I did all the things I was supposed to do, and it still ain't working. Well, basically, what that lady had to say was that she's in Ohio, and one of her buddies got in contact with her, and she had gotten a letter about 17 days before school starts that her child with a disability is going to be charged about $1,800 to go to school at their public school because they need, quote unquote, extra whatever. So now they're starting to charge kids with disabilities money to go to public schools. And there was, she said, another lady she heard got a $4,000 charge, and that if costs aren't covered, that they can't go to school, and if there's more costs during the year, they'll get charged at the brand new 2025 rate, not the 2024 rate, because they did them a favor and only charged them at the 2024 rate this year. So yeah, they are now at least in Ohio, and I'm sure you can extrapolate from that and figure out that it'll be happening in other places. They're going to be charging children to go to public school if you're disabled. So,
Well, that's horrifying.
Ain't that fun? It certainly is. It certainly is. And there's a lot of other stuff that we could talk about this week. Do you want to hit up Mom Donnie real quick?
Well, just real quickly. So I had some other stuff prepared, but we can talk about one of the latest polls to come out. Shows him at 44% of the vote. That is tied with all his other competitors combined. He is 19 points ahead of noted sex pest Cuomo.
Damn.
So he's still looking good.
Can you believe it? Like I thought I was gonna be halfway dead before I saw, like, not to say that we don't have socialists in Congress, like Rashida Tlaib, but I think it's pretty telling that a city of 20 million people in literally the heart of capitalism. Could we say that? Could we say New York City is the heart of capitalism, at least in the United States?
It's the heart. It's one of the major centers of the financial world for sure.
Well, looks to be we're gonna have a socialist mayor there because things just keep getting better for him. Is what it sounds like. Yeah, and there was the deployments across the nation that are occurring, specifically Washington, D.C. National Guard, they got them out there, about 600 of them. They're also creating quick reaction forces, 2 of them. And guess what? One of them's in Alabama. There'll be about 300 National Guardsmen on effectively 24/7 duty, ready to deploy within an hour to anything happening in the United States. I'm going to guess Birmingham or Mobile or up here will get their attention first. What do you think? You think that's a fair guess?
Sounds possible for sure. I didn't realize one of them was based in Alabama. I read about the rapid response units or whatever he's calling them, but I didn't realize one was in Alabama.
Yeah. Show enough is. So, Well, we got a million other things we could talk about. But I think we did a pretty good job today.
So
Talked
I
about the
think
convention. Yeah.
this was a great guest.
Yeah. We got an update from Robert. Robert, was there anything that caught your eye the past few days?
Honestly, not much. I've been dealing with car issues. So,
Um, Still with the car issue, huh? Shit. You get your phone squared away?
phone squared away and probably going to get a new computer in the next month or so. But, money does not grow on trees, and it doesn't help when the car, what probably will cost to fix a car is my entire paycheck. Things I need for food, water, my rent.
Oh, well, yeah. A mechanics clinic couldn't come faster
No.
for all of us because we got one car. The can't find the key. That's supposed to be $300. The AC don't work. That's supposed to be $600. The windows don't roll down, so that's a good combo to have in Alabama when your windows don't roll down and the AC don't work. Because I literally, when I drive it, I hold the door open to try to get a little airflow. But yeah, well, hey, that's where. Do you need to do a GoFundMe or anything for something like that?
No, it should figure itself out in the next month and a half. There are plenty of people who have much more pressing matters to deal with currently.
Yeah. That's a very, very true statement. I know what you mean. It's like feel guilty for asking for help when there's a lot more people suffering and stuff like that, and you're like, I'll figure it out. I'll get along. But that's a gritty response, and yeah, I know you'll figure it out because you always do. Just like you're figuring out how you're going to be the first socialist in office in Alabama, maybe ever. I'm not sure on the history of that, but I'm pretty sure you would be the first socialist in Alabama's history in office. But maybe we need to research that. Jay, you got any? Go ahead, Robert.
I was just going to say, as far as I know, maybe. It's a hard maybe because I think there may have been 2 or 3 when the Communist Party was active in the early 1900s. And 1 or 2 civil rights folks who were democratic socialists, but like maximum the 3rd to 4th person in the history of the state.
Hey, that's good enough for a wiki article to me. Yeah. But Jay, you got anything else before we sign off here?
I got nothing, man. I think we talked about everything I was going to talk. Well, we didn't get to everything, but I'm really pleased with the coverage we did of the convention. I think Chris did a great job.
Absolutely. All right. Well, hey, folks, as we like to say around here, all the power to all the people. We the people break our chains together. Solidarity forever, folks.
Solidarity forever.